Let's hear it for Judah.
Hello, everybody. So I have to tell you, it's now absolutely official. My 12-year-old son will never, not a chance in hell, it tells me, Dad never will work for a Fortune 500 company that promises a sustainable future 10 years from now, but is still touting incremental change. That's official from a 12-year-old. I think, we're in the Presidio, so I think we can say that most of us have seen this shift in the way the largest companies and the biggest brands in the world perceive and address their impact on the planet. Yes? And we've also seen how they're able to leverage their unique ability to move resources in order to really positively impact people around the globe. So, in thinking about, how do we continue to accelerate sustainability, the thing that comes to my mind is we don't really need acceleration, we need paradigm change. The fact of the matter is, and I remember talking to Gene Kahn a couple years ago, the founder of Cascadian Farms, later acquired by General Mills, and really one of the gurus of sustainable agriculture. He said, Judah, we're patting ourselves on the back for 5% incremental, packaging reductions, and that's simply not going to be enough. So me in my role, I get to go and try and persuade the CEOs and senior leaders of some of the biggest companies in the world that really what's necessary is to really have wholesale transformation. And I try and do it sometimes with the purple sneakers and sometimes without. But that really, we need to move farther and faster, and that by being a little bit more fun, by being a little bit more daring with sustainability, with social good, that they can realize many surprises that really are tantamount to huge business value along the way. So whereas you see desks and cubicles and some really horribly dull gray carpet, I see entire lives passing by. I see huge, huge opportunity. I see a way to eviscerate. I love that little kid. I see a way to eviscerate the boredom and the apathy and the disengagement that runs rampant throughout the biggest companies in the world. And it does. Look at any Gallup poll. You'll see close to half of the employees of the workforce are really checked out. There's nothing that's really inspiring them. They come into work day after day. They're a captive audience. They're there 8 hours a day, but they're not really there with heart, mind, and soul. So I see using sustainability and using social good initiatives as really a Trojan horse, right? Something that you can bring into a company and really unpack lots of solutions that can help solve for the company's biggest challenges, like engagement, like improved customer service. How do you get people to actually engage with customers, either about sustainability or just period, just at all, better customer service? How do we create healthier and happier employees? And perhaps most importantly, and this, I tell you now, I hear this time and time again, every client that we talk to, every big company that wants to do something around social good, sustainability, shared value, they're talking about talent. So yes, they want to do the right thing. They want to be better for the planet. They want to be better corporate citizens. But they see that they must cater to a new generation of millennials, and really even younger, like my 12-year-old son or my 9-year-old daughter. And so the fact is, when you're actually doing sustainability, when you're actually engaging in developing platforms, you're actually solving challenges as you go about doing it. And when you actually tap it in an authentic and a meaningful way to not only employees, but consumers, you're really able to access collective wisdom and passion and innovative thinking of millions in unison. And simultaneously, you're also able to empower, educate, and bring more joy to people, not only in this country, but around the world. And Lord knows we need more joy and smiles in this world. And it's not just about the people. So wanting to engage is one thing, right? And that's really what we do at Saatchi and Saatchi S. We engage. We're sort of sculptors of culture and designers of human experiences. But inevitably, the will to engage requires also a change of message sometimes. And so being, a cheerleader for change, even, the classic go green, even, and don't throw a tomato at me, even sustainability in some circles is becoming this sort of turgid, bloated concept. People don't know what it means. It means everything. It means this thing. It means that. Maybe it's about innovation. People like shared value now. It's across the board. Every conference is different. Every group is different. But that's where the sentiment is sort of moving to. And inevitably, we have to figure out how do we create messages that create the least amount of mental resistance and the greatest alignment to our human desires. right? How do we make something as fun as playing a video game? And while my wife might hate me when I, good night, honey, and play Angry Birds, these are our natural tendencies. Or maybe for you, it's going shopping and finding a great pair of shoes, on sale at the mall. Or maybe it's indulging in a box of chocolate. But that sensory, emotional experience, that's how I try and get brands to think about communicating sustainability. And just as much as the content needs to change, so do the platforms. So, internally, for those of you who work at big corporations, we still do email, we still do SharePoint, we do the tricolor, pie graphs, and they're all, sort of going out with the times. Nobody really wants to experience information anymore like this. That's not how we experience information in our personal lives, right? And certainly, if you're talking about a new generation of talent, this is about as foreign to a 23-year-old as a 1040 tax form, right? And to a marketer, it's something that they would want to run away and cry at. So, and I love this. This is the second time you're going to see this slide, which just means it's a great slide. It's about communicating with stakeholders across the map, employees, consumers, NGOs, partners in the supply chain, government entities, and really creating conversations and creating communities that allow for a shorter duration for innovative cycles. We need to innovate faster. That's sort of the bottom line here is, sustainability needs to be in the same breath as innovation, and it needs to come faster. And ultimately, the way the platforms need to look, they need to have the aesthetic beauty of a virtual world, right? They need to have that same sort of allure and mystique as a World of Warcraft and avatars, because that's really what this next generation is really engaged with. That's really what they're feeling, what they're playing with. And needs to have the opportunity to create self-directed action, like a Donors Choose, a Charles Best organization, which I love. It's the ability to donate to schools and create a feedback loop with educators around the country. And it needs to have this sense of fun overlaid on social media, right? I think by nature, more and more we're discovering as sort of gaming rises to the surface, that we like to play, that as human beings we are playful. Underneath it all, we like to have fun. We like to play with each other in different environments. And so just to leave you with this, as we think about this world, which has plenty of challenges right now, thinking about having another 2 billion people on this planet, 2 billion people on this planet, eating, living, driving cars, living lives, we need to think about creating contexts that really instill within this generation and generations to come a sense of magic, a sense of wonder, and a sense of freedom to just imagine. Thank you.
Thank you.